I recently read Rejection Proof by Jia Zhang. Jia Zhang was a Chinese immigrant to America with big entrepreneurial aspirations, but failed to pursue his dreams for fear of rejection. So he embarked on a quest to conquer his fear of rejection that he called 100 Days of Rejection. Every day for 100 days, he suppressed his need for approval and asked people for odd favors, like asking a worker at Krispy Kreme Donuts to make him an Olympic donut, or knocking on a stranger's door and asking a large, intimidating man if he could play soccer in his backyard, or going to random office buildings and asking for a one-day job. As he progressed through his 100 days of rejection, he learned a few universal truths about rejection that made rejection seem harmless. What he learned is extremely valuable to you and I because it gives us more freedom to ask for what we want and what we need. If you and I internalize the lessons in this book, we are more likely to ask for the job we want, the help we need, the discount we'd like, and the financial support we require in times of need. Reducing the fear of rejection and experiencing the freedom to ask for what we want and what we need starts by understanding that rejection is just an opinion. If I offered you what many people thought was the best mint ice cream in the world, but you hated the taste of mint, you're going to reject my ice cream. It's not personal, it's just your preference. The same is true for most rejections. People say no because of their prior experiences or particular tastes. That's why Zhang says, a rejection says more about the rejector than the rejectee. When the Grammy Award-winning violinist, Joshua Bell, dressed in jeans and a baseball cap and played his violin in a busy DC metro station, only 7 out of 1,097 people stopped to listen to him. Bell's performances typically got standing ovations in prestigious concert halls like the John F. Kennedy Center. But on that day in the DC metro station, he was playing to the wrong audience at the wrong time. The people passing by either didn't value musical talent, didn't like the violin, or didn't have time to stop and enjoy his music. When you request things from the wrong people or at the wrong time, that rejection shouldn't sting because, again, it's not personal. If you happen to love ice cream and mint was your favorite flavor, but I offered you mint ice cream during a 3-day fast, I just happened to get unlucky and catch you at a bad time. Asking someone why they rejected your request can help you see that the rejection isn't personal and can create unexpected opportunities. When Zhang asked a flight attendant on a Southwest flight if he could give the safety speech to the passengers, he got rejected. But when he politely asked, "Okay, but may I ask why?" the flight attendant explained that the airline had a policy. All passengers must be seated during the safety speech, and Zhang was a passenger. But then the flight attendant thought of another way that Zhang could get his wish and asked Zhang if he wanted to give the welcome speech after the safety talk. That counteroffer was actually much better than Zhang's original request because it allowed him to say what he wanted and not follow a script. When someone explains why they can't satisfy your request, they typically leave clues that you can use to craft a smaller request. Robert Cialdini, psychologist and author of Influence, has discovered that people are very receptive to small second requests because they don't want to come across as a jerk. When Zhang asked a McDonald's worker if he could have the McGriddle breakfast sandwich at 2 p.m., 2 hours after the breakfast ends at McDonald's, he was given a quick no. When he asked why not, the worker explained that the machine that made the eggs and sausage was already clean. So Zhang asked if there was something like a McGriddle the worker could make without an egg or sausage. The new request piqued the worker's interest, and she came up with an alternative: a honey-roasted griddle cake with cheese melted on top. In the book, Zhang says, instead of setting my goals on only the specific thing that I'd gone in asking for, I reassessed my original request and asked for something less. The clerk recognized my concession and met me halfway by offering a solution. Zhang calls reducing your request retreating, not running. Now, oftentimes, asking why before saying goodbye and retreating to a smaller request can still leave you empty-handed. But fear not. A flat-out rejection can be beneficial in more ways than one. First, a rejection boosts your rejection immunity. When you get rejected, but realize your self-worth is intact, and you still have opportunities ahead of you, you are better able to withstand future rejection. And when you know that you'll be fine after rejection, you tend to communicate in a more confident, friendly, and open manner. Zhang says, when I was confident, friendly, and open, people seemed more inclined to go along with my request. Even if they say no, they at least stayed engaged longer to ask questions. Rejection benefit number 2. A rejection boosts your motivation because you want to prove the rejecter wrong. Michael Jordan famously responded to the rejection by his high school varsity basketball team with hard workouts and more time on the court. That worked out pretty well for him. And upside number 3, rejection offers clues for improvement. As Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed 10,000 times. I've successfully found 10,000 ways that will not work." When you step back from a rejection and strip out the emotion, you will likely discover ways to improve your requests and increase your odds of getting what you want and what you need. In the end, rejection is part of the human experience, but we don't need to let the fear of rejection stop us from pursuing our big dreams and goals. We can reduce our fear of rejection by remembering 3 things. First, rejection isn't personal, it's just an opinion. Number 2, rejection typically isn't final if we politely say, "Okay, but may I ask why?" and then craft a smaller request based on the response. And number 3, rejection can generate insight, boost motivation, and make us immune to future rejection. Zheng says, "All these years, rejection has scared me like Goliath. It stopped me from pursuing my dreams for over a decade. It sometimes stopped me from reaching out or even saying hi to others for fear of rejection and judgment. But now that I was studying Goliath and seeing him with new eyes, it felt as if I might have him cornered." Without the fog of pain and fear, rejection wasn't the Goliath that I thought it was. That was the core message that I gathered from Rejection Proof by Zheng. This is a wonderfully written book that is extremely entertaining and actionable. I highly recommend it.
After high school, I started figuring out more and more what I wanted to do in life, and I realized that if I wanted to have a big brand, there's no way that I could do that and still be introverted and achieve the same success that I have planned for myself in my head. And I know for a lot of you watching, it's the same thing. Even if you don't necessarily want to be on social media and running a brand like me, just being able to talk to more people and open up more doors is probably going to get you to where you want to be in life. Learning how to talk to strangers is one of the most fundamentally important skills that you can learn in your lifetime, no matter how old or young you are. Here's the problem though. Talking to strangers fundamentally is a very difficult thing to do because it requires you to put your ego in your pocket and allow yourself to potentially get rejected. Social anxiety has prevented me from asking out a lot of girls that I thought were cute, walking up to people who seemed interesting. It even took me a long time to start my YouTube channel because I was afraid to put my face onto this camera and potentially find out what my friends really thought of me. Now, I know that a lot of us have that same problem. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to talk to strangers, how to move past that fear of rejection and learn how to put yourself out there and open up every single door.
Can I ask you a quick question? Can I continue the conversation for you with your friend? Just take over the phone. Yeah? Yeah? Don't say who it is though. Sorry. Quick question. What are you listening to?
A podcast.
Oh, cool. Can I listen? Cool.
Hi, I'm just a random stranger, but I wanted to say hi.
She doesn't speak English.
Oh, what language? Spanish?
Spanish.
No hablas español, pero te amo.
Is your name John, by chance?
I thought I recognized you from CJ.
No? Oh, sorry. Can I get a hug? Can I have a hug? A hug? Yeah, why not? Nice to meet you.
So this is a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time because it's a problem that has been impacting me since high school. I used to be an extremely introverted person. So much so that in my final year of high school, I won an award. And anytime that you win an award, you get a trophy, but you also get a book. And the book was picked by my English teacher who saw that I was struggling and having a really hard time. And the book was called Quiet by Susan Cain. It's a book entirely devoted to how introverts can still use their powers to make real life long-lasting change in the world. Couldn't believe that that was the book that she gave me because I thought introverts are never gonna make big changes in the world because they're too afraid to talk to people. So I took her giving me that book as a shot or as a challenge, let's say, to become more of an extroverted human being. And at that exact point, I flipped the switch, started trying to talk to more people, get out of my comfort zone more, and become more of an extroverted human being.
The thing about rejection is that most of us think it's personal, but the reality is it's not personal. No one knows you. They don't know who I am. They can get past that. And we're good.
Do you mind if I ask you a quick question? What's your best piece of life advice?
Know when to say no. Is she a challenge to you?
Yeah, go for it.
Can I get you to walk up to a stranger and ask them if you can give them the hug?
Yeah, okay, go for it. I love this. Hi, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question for both of you.
Sure.
It might seem a bit odd, but can I get a hug?
No problem.
Oh, yeah. Yay! You're so sweet.